My top, Tampa Bay, let's roll. It's game day.
Do we get to that?
Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucks on the goal line, Bulls ride or die. From the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show.
Yes, it is. Hope you guys had an awesome 4th of July, as I did. Hope you can hear me. Yes. No Timmy today. Timmy's hungover from his 4th of July exploits, so he did not post today. So you got me and my friends today, but I got lots of friends. I think I'll just let this play for the whole end. I don't think we've listened to the whole thing. Some of you are mortified. Not today. He's not ready. No post. Hope he feels better. All right, guys. Welcome into the big show. Thank you guys for joining us here today on this beautiful Monday, July 6th. What a weekend of July 4th festivities. Hope you guys had a blast. Very eventful weekend, by the way. Very eventful weekend, which we will get into. Jeff Attanella is going to join us, our World Cup expert, to continue the continuing coverage of Flo Balogun's suspension and unsuspension, and now review again by FIFA. As we speak right now, we are told, according to Fox News, that the two sides are once again presenting their arguments from the Belgian side, from the United States side. As of right now, Balogun is in. And that's as it should be. And we are going to talk a lot about that. Love to hear your comments on that, folks. Rays lose 2 in a row. That's a tough one to take in Houston. But a good 4-2 road trip. And they come home. It's almost like it's almost forgotten, because it is. The Yankees are here. The Yankees are coming. The Yankees are coming. And they are the Stankies right now. They have lost 9 of their last 10, 12 of their last 15. Of course, the Rays now have lost 2 in a row after 9 straight wins. But this should be an absolutely epic series between the two, where the Rays now are 31-12 at home. How about that Tropicana field? That's a nice little home field advantage right there. That's something we did not have last year at all. We were sweating out at Steinbrenner Stadium. But it was something that had to be done, an experience for a lifetime, but we don't need to go back to that anytime soon. As I mentioned, Jeff Attanella will join us at 10:30 to talk some soccer, some World Cup. What a game yesterday between England and Mexico. Did you watch that? Whew. That was, I think, the best game of the tournament. I think most people would say that was the best game of the tournament. Absolutely scintillating drama as the Lions come in down a man for most of the second half and hold on to win 3-2 at Estadio Azteca, the famous arena there where Mexico had not lost a competitive game since, 2013. They don't often lose at Azteca, and England kind of took it. I don't know if I say took it to them. They were very clinical in their finishes, scored 2 goals in a minute 39 seconds. It kind of jolted Mexico, who came right back and scored to make it 2-1. Then it went to 3-1 on a penalty, and then a 3-2 on penalties. And then Mexico, I believe the number was 48. 48 crosses into the box after they were down, and none of them were successful. I forget the English keeper's name right now, but he was absolutely phenomenal. Great soccer, great drama. It has been an absolutely incredible World Cup. So many great stories that have to be had. Yeah, so we'll get into all of that. And by the way, Eric Erlinson's going to join us at 11 o'clock. He'll have a few things to say about the World Cup and the United States-Belgium tonight, which, by the way, be there at Riveters. Get there early. Get your seat. It's going to be an incredible scene there to the American Outlaws and all the USA fans that have been gathering at Riveters. That'll be the place to be tonight, ground zero for this match against Belgium starting at 8 o'clock this evening. Cannot wait for that. Cannot wait. Going to be amazing. So we got Eric and Jeff, and then the Big O will join us at 11:30 to talk some more Rays baseball, zeroing in on this Yankee series. And there have been some rumors out there on who the Rays might be after to add a big bat to this lineup, perhaps infuse their catching situation. Starting pitching has really been pretty damn good. Don't know if they're going to go find a big arm for their starting rotation. I probably would look more for a dominant relief pitcher. Now, Manny Rodriguez could be coming back. Still no word on Nuceda. Boyle, not sure what's going on with him, but there will be some reinforcements coming soon for the Rays pitching staff, but a really good relief pitcher might be exactly what this team needs, if not two. They did blow a 5-run lead on Saturday as Yordan Alvarez walked us off. Boy, that dude can hit. And Cameron hit a home run as well on Saturday and making it 11 in 11 games, youngest player to ever do that. Once again, putting himself on a list that's either with Hall of Famers or by himself. And he's now the youngest player to hit 11 home runs in 11 games. So his tear absolutely continues and has been phenomenal. So Big O will join us at 11:30 and talk some Rays baseball. We'll talk with you about Rays baseball as well. How was your weekend? What did you guys do? Ashley, the lovely Ashley, and I went to St. Pete on Saturday for July 4th. We saw Young Washington, which is from the Angel Film Collection. Highly recommend it. You know, those films tend to be somewhat a little hokey and patriotic. It's exactly what I needed on July 4th. A hokey, and not really hokey, but it was really good. The action scenes are fantastic, by the way. The war scenes are incredible. It's the story of young Washington, very young Washington, his growing up, his failures as a commander early on in his career, set up to fail by the British. Can't trust those fuckers. Can't trust them. And yeah, it's a great movie. Highly, highly recommend it. Go check it out. For July 4th, it was absolutely set the patriotic tone. Then we walked over, checked out the Rowdies game, which was fun. They had a great July 4th celebration. $1 hot dogs, $3 beers. Had a few beers, watched some soccer, then headed back over to do some bars in St. Pete. Did a little Fort Beachy, a little down on the farm country, and then John Boy for some 70s music. That was a day. Very patriotic day. Saw the fireworks, not like right up close, but kind of on the way home. So, and then I got home and saw that the fireworks on the National Mall were delayed and stayed up for all that celebration, which was just absolutely incredible. You know, whatever your politics are, the celebration that they pulled off and the fireworks were absolutely freaking phenomenal. And if you're not, and people still, just because, and this was kind of rolls into what's going on with Balogun as well. It's like if Trump touches it, it just cannot stand. It's got to be grotesque and horrible. And I just don't get that. Listen, you could, the guy he is what he is. Says a lot of stupid shit, makes you mad, but a lot of this, but he gets credit for nothing that he does. Nothing that he does. And for people to be upset like that, as I see all over the interweb, people pissed off at Balogun and this decision because Trump got involved is ridiculous. Like, are you that sick in your brain that you're going to root against? And I see this everywhere. I'm going to root for Belgium. Really? That's what it's come to. That's mental illness. We got to be better than that. We got to be better than that. But the Balogun situation is incredible on so many levels. And first and foremost, number one, and listen, I am no soccer expert. I do not claim to be, but I have perhaps consumed more literature and watched more videos by the experts on this Balogun thing than I care to ever on any topic. And it's clear as day from the get-go that the referee screwed it up in the moment. Like, that was where this all starts and really has nothing to do with the appeal. This is where it all starts. They screwed up. And those, claiming the rules, he screwed up the rules by using VAR and slow motion and freeze frames to call a red card. That's in direct violation of the protocol. He screwed it up in the beginning. Not to mention, it wasn't worthy of a red card. And I have not seen one person outside of Bosnia and Belgium that would say that was worthy of a red card, what Balogun did. It wasn't. There was no malice. There was no speed. There was no premeditation. All these things that have to be present were not present. And you used the VAR incorrectly. Like, how much more do we need to screw this up? And as for precedent, there's 5 guys that their red cards were rescinded to play, including Ronaldo in the World Cup. So this is not a Trump thing. This is not an American thing. This is a FIFA thing. And FIFA does it all the time to make sure their stars play in the biggest events. It's kind of silly, really. The injustice that was about to be done was the story. Finally, the USA gets to this, which probably is the biggest game in the history of the United States men's national team, playing in a World Cup on home soil in Seattle tonight. And you finally have a striker worthy of international competition in starring on that stage in Balogun, and he gets red carded on a ridiculous decision that was inappropriately decided against their own FIFA rules. The ref screwed up. And there is an appeals process in order for this to happen. Everybody said, oh, you can't appeal it. Yes, of course you can't appeal it. And there is a rule, Article 27, I believe, that says that they can review it. And if protocols were not followed properly, they can rescind it. And that's exactly what happened. It has nothing to do with politics. And I see Piers Morgan and all these people across the globe. Oh, it's going to the integrity of the game, blah, 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 blah. Get out of here with that. First of all, FIFA has zero integrity. And they had it all wrong in this particular case, and I'll give them credit for getting it right. They finally got it right. And this penalty would have been the most egregious use of VAR and the worst call in the history of soccer, given the circumstances. We finally have a guy who could put the ball in the back of the net, something that the U.S. team has always lacked. The style and the Pulisic is fantastic, but Balogun takes it to another level. And the two of them on the field against Belgium, Belgium knows they're in trouble. And the U.S. are now the betting favorite. I said, Belgium is a world-class team. They're a little long in the tooth, a lot of these guys, but they're still a world-class team. And although the United States is a betting favorite, you can get great value with Belgium if you're a betting person. And I think what's really lost in all of this maybe is the fact that the players, and I do feel for Belgium in this way, they prepared to face a team that did not have Balogun and is totally different than facing a team that has Pepe up front. It's completely different. So I do feel for them in that way. But that's FIFA screwing up. They should have rescinded that red card immediately. But they knew there would be a backlash, and they didn't want that. And I hate that now, since Trump's name has been injected into this, and he would have done well to keep his name out of it, but he can't do that. It now has become a political thing. And the greatest World Cup we've ever had, which was doing incredible numbers and ratings that we've never seen before, not to mention the overwhelming endorsement of the foreign visitors of the United States of America and how much they love this. And I don't know if you've seen Haaland, the striker, the big striker. How could you not have seen him? Erling Haaland, who scored again, has now scored 60-some goals in 47 international games for Norway. This guy's an absolute goal machine. He scores on accident. And he had another couple yesterday as Norway vanquished Brazil. And that was another phenomenal game as well. I mean, I just cannot get enough of this freaking World Cup. I just absolutely love it. And, yeah, it's so Holland is doing video after video after video, going into the boot store to get American boots and eating American food. Like, this guy's the number one PR guy for America in the world. Absolutely loves it. And what's not to love? You know, yeah, we're not perfect, but damn, we got a lot of good stuff we all take for granted. And this World Cup is turning that around for a lot of folks. I hope so. But this is the absolute right decision. Now, if FIFA rescinds this decision, you think we have a circus now? You think we have a circus now? If they rescind this decision at some point today, rescind the rescinding, then it's going to be complete chaos. And it will be the wrong thing to do. Absolutely 100% wrong thing to do. And it'll be politically motivated. Absolutely 100% politically motivated if it happens. But at this point, Balogun is in, and as it should be, two great teams going at it. And if we can get by Belgium, then we got, I believe it's the winner of Spain and Portugal is playing today, if I have that correct. So, yeah, absolutely incredible. All right, I want to get to you guys right now, early on, as my co-host today, since Timmy could not post. Hope you had a great 4th of July. Alejandro says, good morning, JP and Petermans. While losing the series to the Astros stinks, we are still in first place. The Yankees lost the same game, so a no gain or loss for us, and we are 4-2 on the road trip. Not too bad. Yeah, very nicely done. Could have been better, but you're not going to win them all. Pooh Shiesty is in this morning. He said, how are we feeling about the ASG rosters? Aranda should have been there. I agree. But overall, not bad. Hopefully, Yanni and Randy can share a locker room. That'll be interesting. Yeah. So the Rays get 4 All-Stars, which is fantastic and well-deserved. I do think Aranda should have been on there as well. He did not make it. I think, did Vlad get the spot? Like, I mean, come on now. But this is age-old, right? Guys have bad seasons who are typically great players, and they don't make it. Brian Baker makes an all-star team, as he well should, as a closer. Was absolutely phenomenal. Chalk-Tahatchee High School to North Florida to 11th round draft pick to all-star. It's a pretty damn good story. 23 saves, second most in the majors in his first 26 opportunities. A 1.83 ERA, 143 opponents average against, and an 8.2 whip, 0.82 whip. That's freaking phenomenal, and he deserves it. Big Red, Drew Rasmussen going, Yandy Caminero. Another moment for Caminero, who is really good at this, going to an all-star game and soaking up all the knowledge of the veterans makes him a better player. And that's a big residue of being named an all-star at a young age. Bushaiti asks, how was everybody's 4th? Anybody lose appendages? No JPP injuries, hopefully. Danny Boy says, good morning, all. Hope everyone had a safe and happy 4th. UEFA filed an appeal this morning on behalf of Belgium in reference to Bala's availability for tonight's game. Yeah. I hope to God. They can't rescind this. Can't rescind the rescission. Is that how that goes? What a great theme song, says Pooh Shiesty. Yeah, I think it's kind of catchy. I think it's kind of shabby. Did you catch this? Yeah, we had to clear our throat before the show. That might have been a burp that you heard. Yep. Nathan JP did a JPP and can't press play. I got them all. Got all my digits. Did not handle any fireworks this year. Yes, Tim would have turned that song off already. Sorry, Rick. I know how much you love it. Good morning to you, Nathan Elliott. What kind of weird stuff are you bringing this morning? Yes, Tim hates the new theme. Got that. Let that roll while he's still nursing a hangover. Yep. Still early, but if the Rays can take care of business, says Pooh Shiesty, against the Yankees, they can really pull ahead in the division. Yeah, I mean, you want to obviously win the series. They swept them last time here. The Yankees are down. They're playing without Judge, but they're still a very formidable team. The pitching matchups, we're going to get their best. Schlittler tonight. And I'll be very, I'm going to be very interested to see, and we'll talk about this with Big O later on. What's the crowd going to be like? I wonder, like, normally it's 70-30 because old Stu would price our fans out, but we sold so many tickets early on because they were marketed well. So I wonder if it's going to be, I hope it is. I hope it's different. It's not 70-30 Yankees. I hope that's turned around for Rays fans, especially since they're in a tailspin and the Rays are in first place. Josh B says, JP, did you see the Marlins were up 8-0 in the seventh? Pitcher was in the middle of a complete game and they pulled him and almost lost the game. I did see that. I just, for the life of me, man, this is just, I mean, we've had Smoltzy on here talk about this so often. When guys are in the groove and if they're just pitching effortlessly, they're not going to get hurt. That's the time they're not going to get hurt. They're getting tired. It's like if they falter dramatically, and by the way, you're up 8. I mean, you're going to see that. I don't think we've seen that. We didn't see that with Ian Seymour. I mean, you're just pitching effortlessly. Everything is in the slot. Everything is perfect. You're not struggling. And those are the times you could, guys used to throw 200 pitches a game. Yes, it happened. Yeah, and guys would routinely throw 120 to 145 pitches. The human body is okay with it if you're doing it the right way. So, when you're in those situations, just let them go. Let them go. Thomas says 189 red cards, 2 rescinded or suspended so far. Yeah, perfect game. I don't get it. I don't get it. Rick said, did I hang with the skateboarders in St. Pete on Saturday? I never see any skateboarders. Where is this huge skateboard population of what they speak? I've not seen it. Douglas Batista says, being a realist, not expecting a win tonight against Schlittler. Last time Ken Hagan was on, he shared a target date for the county vote on stadium definitive docs on July 15th. Is it on schedule? I'm not sure, to be quite honest. I'd heard that there have been a lot of vacations scheduled for commissioners and, county and city. So I think it may have been pushed back, nothing to the negative, but, again, on Friday, was a Thursday or Friday, there was Romano had a column about, how things are getting worked out behind the scenes of we've been reporting to you guys for weeks and weeks. This was all going to be part of the process. Unfortunately, the process became public, all of it, every memo, everything. And when that happens, this is why, when the Braves did their deal, they did everything, behind closed doors, not nefariously, but doing it with, within parameters of government rules. Doesn't always have to be on the front page of the newspaper. Every memo back and forth does not have to be on the front page, because that's what creates all the craziness. And once they, once they got the memo of understanding, now we have a framework to work from. Okay, what about this don't you like? Ken Babby's been meeting with all the commissioners saying, how can we address your objections? And they've moved money around in different spots to pay for different things, CIT for infrastructure, other stuff for the stadium. It's, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it just takes some time and negotiations to get everything right. And we're there. We're almost there. So I would expect votes late July, maybe early August. They're already searching for a contractor. Shovels in the ground, fourth quarter. Did I just say that? I did. Shovels in the ground, fourth quarter. Wow. That's going to be quite the ribbon cutting. Let's see all the people who will try and take credit. Yeah, that'll be very interesting to watch. Rick says vacation scheduled for city commissioner. Are they finally taking Charlie to the farm to pet old Yeller? Oh no, he's going on a cruise on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, I believe. He's going to show up at the docks, Port Tampa. Michael Uru says also the Brazilian ref was under investigation for match fixing in Brazil due to unusual patterns in foul calls. Michael, thank you for bringing that up. This dude has a checkered past, to say the least. How they've even allowed him to ref in the World Cup is a disgrace. Listen, I don't know a lot about it, but the people that do, that I've talked to, you know, FIFA is a very corrupt body. Just put it that way. And running World Cups is, you know, there's a lot of politics involved. See Qatar, it can get weird, and you know, it would not shock me for them to rescind the rescission, but I hope they don't. Michael LaRue says, per FIFA rules, slow motion replay should not be used to determine a red card. Apparently, slow motion replay was used. That's the explanation for the use of Rule 27, reversal of the red card. Yes. And we said that from the very beginning. Like you can't use a still image or slow motion to hand out a red card because speed and intent are one of the characteristics that you have to see. To a malice is what they call it, to see. Like it's like our football targeting. There has to be some malice involved, some intentional, something, you know, and that's what we saw. So, or we didn't see in the Balogun case. So it's again, they screwed it up from the beginning. This is not, and that's why everybody was outraged when it happened. Like, what are you even talking about? There's actually a still photo of Lionel Messi doing exactly the same thing, which is why you don't use still photos to hand out red cards. And there wasn't even a foul on the play. So it's kind of ridiculous, to be quite honest. All right, let's talk to somebody who actually knows what's going on here, an expert in these situations. Jeff Attanella joins us, Rowdy's Director of Development. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm good, man. How's it going? Sorry, I jumped on a little bit late there.
No, you're great. You're perfect. A man who's played for his country, who's played in the MLS, USF Hall of Famer, all-time goalie in the history here in Tampa Bay. You know your stuff. You've seen it all. You watched it all. Take me through this Balogun case from the very beginning. I think we talked about this last week. It was a terrible use of VAR. In fact, a wrong use of VAR when they made the call in the beginning, and they're just finally getting around to getting this right. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, the most difficult part is just the timing of it. You know, I think that's the thing that's really not sitting well with people, because if they went back right after the fact, you know, the next day and said, hey, we got that one wrong, then I think that people would be like, okay, like good on them for correcting the initial error, right? Because you lose your best player in the World Cup game, in a knockout game, like that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
So for it to happen 24 hours or whatever the timeline is, 36 hours before the game, after, you know, Belgium's been preparing and other teams have been preparing and things like that, I think that really that's the thing that's sticking with people the most wrong. But at the same time, like, you know, I was doing something this morning. It's like, I don't care. I'm like, you know what? They got it right. I'm an American soccer fan. If people want to hate on us for that, for the way that the process went down, and, you know, everybody thinks there's like all this collusion and whatnot, it's like,
come on.
It's like, I don't like, let the best players play. If it's an egregious foul, like last night we saw Mexico versus England, that's a red card. The guy came in on a tackle with his studs up, never had his studs down. There was full intention to get the ball, but he got all leg, red card. This was not a clear and obvious red card. This wasn't something that, you know, has been called throughout the course of the World Cup. So I thought that, you know, the right decision ultimately was made. Was it wrong in the timing of it? Absolutely, because there is, I think, a little bit of a competitive advantage to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, everybody complaining about it, and I get it, but it's like, play the game. Like, get on the
Right.
field, put the ball out. You want the best players on the field. Like, USA was at a clear disadvantage in the Bosnia game because they had to play down to 10 men. And what happened if they lose that game? Are
Right.
people going back and feeling bad for the United States because they lost that game because of a red card that probably shouldn't have been called? My guess is probably not. So, you know what I mean? I understand the theatrics around it and all the noise about it, but at the same time, it's like, let's just get on to the game. Like, this is going to be a really
Right.
good game. This is an
It's
exciting
taken away from
game.
the game and the World
Yeah,
Cup. Yeah.
like the U.S. has been playing at such a high level that for me it like kind of has a little bit of a dark cloud over this moment. But don't like, my thing is like, don't let it do that, because the
Right.
U.S. has been playing very, very well. And yeah, like, the guy got a red card, but it probably wasn't the right call. And now they took it away. So it's like, deal with it. And let's just like get the ball on the field and kick off at 8 p.m. and see who the best team is.
And a lot of people are acting like this never happens. It happens all the time. They rescind these things all the time, correct? It happened with Ronaldo and for the World Cup.
Yeah, so it's for me it's interesting because it's like, the one thing as well is that, like, I've said a lot that I don't think people would ever say that they were wrong, and they still never said that they were wrong. They still haven't admitted any wrongdoing, but I think that ultimately, I think that everybody at the time was saying this was not a red card, this should not have been a red card. So the same people echoing that, you can't turn around and say, hey, they took it away. You can't go around and start echoing the idea that, like, this is such an injustice that they're taking away the suspension, because you can't have it both ways, right? Like, it's an
Right.
injustice that he got the red card, and then it's an injustice that he took it away. It's like, no, it's like, let's try to find some type of middle ground and say, hey, maybe they ultimately got it right and just the timing of it was wrong.
Yeah, I would totally agree with it. And as far as the how it was done, can you speak to the fact that there is a rule that you can't use VAR for red cards for slowing it down or a still
So from
shot?
my from my understanding, it's going back on the initial no foul call.
Right.
So that's
Right.
my understanding of it. Like, the going back on the initial no foul call is where the issues come in line. I'm not fully versed in those rules and the way that all those things are supposed to break down. But at the time, everybody was saying this was improper use of VAR.
Hmm.
This was not the way it's supposed to go down. They got this wrong. And then now to go back and say, well, they got it wrong, but they got to stick to their wrong decision and continue to punish the team. That's where it's kind
Right.
of like, well, like, where do you want to land on this line? Because you can't just walk both of them and, act like you're right when you're championing both things.
I saw last night, I think it was Thierry Henry and Abramovich both said, what's the player's perspective on this? And they're like, we don't care who we playing. It's
Right.
like, we want the best guys on the field. We're not going to sit, the Belgian players are not sitting there going, oh my God, I can't believe he's playing. They're like, no, we can beat them. We can beat them
And
with him or without him. Right.
And the coach for Belgium, he came out pretty vocally against it. And, the way that
Yeah.
you're preparing for certain guys, like, listen, you're preparing for one person, one positional change in one person. And the way that you're game planning for him versus the next guy, it's not changing that much. Like, you're
Yeah.
really not throwing off that much. It's like, hey, this guy's a little bit faster. He can make runs in behind, and you might have to defend a little bit better than you were going to in a World Cup knockout game anyway.
Right.
So it's like, for me, if I was in the situation of Belgium, you hear that news and you think, oh, all right, well, that's news. And then you're like, I guess we're playing against him now. And you just keep it moving and you get
Right.
prepared and you're ready
Exactly.
to go. Yeah.
Well, in the
Yeah.
pre-tournament, they are obviously in the same bracket. If he wasn't preparing to face Balogun, that's not very good coaching on your part. They were preparing for him beforehand. It's not like, oh, what do we do now? We got to go find some crazy game plan. No, it's not
Right.
right. It's not
Yeah.
that.
And it's like, it's at the end of the day, it's people are saying, oh, it's like rigged. It's not rigged. Like, this isn't rigged. This is the World Cup, man. Like, they made a decision. They're going back on the red card in which they called. And then at the same time, it's like, like I've been saying, man, just get the ball on the field and play. Like, that's the main
Yeah.
thing that for me has been so annoying, because everybody needs talking points, right? Like,
Right.
like when there's all this downtime, Mexico and England is delayed, and they're trying to figure out ways to fill the airtime with,
Yeah.
what are we going to talk about? Because there's not 20 games going on every day. It's like,
Right.
this is a good talking headline, and it gets controversy and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, like, U.S. soccer's playing very well. Belgium's a really good team. Put them on the field, figure out who wins it. Balogun shouldn't have been out. He's back. Deal with it, and we keep it moving.
So this Belgian team was not super impressive early on, but they're winning. They've got a lot of experience, and they've won a lot of big games. They've played in a lot of big games. USA is, quote, now favored. I think that's just more home team than anything else. Is Belgium still the better side here, or is the U.S. the better side? What do you think?
It's so funny that you said that. I described it the same way. Like I'm not allowed to talk about betting. I need to preface that. I'm not allowed to bet on soccer. So I need to preface that before I say this. But I understand sports bet. I understand sports betting. And in football, the home team gets points, right? Like you automatically play in the home team getting points. And that's the way that I view it. I think the US is getting that favorite because of the home team. But in terms of the game on the field, I think it's an absolute toss up. I mean, Belgium does have extremely good players. Of course, some of them are towards the later stages of their careers. So they might not be as sharp as they once were. But you're talking about an entire team of guys that play in Champions League finals. They play, they have World Cup experience in knockout stages, and they've been doing this for a very, very long time. And there's something to be said about that in these moments, because that goes a very, very long way. Now, in terms of the teams on the field, I think that the U.S. has been playing better. And I do think that personally, put my fan bias aside, I do think that the U.S. men's national team is going to win tonight. But that's more based off of the system in which they're playing, like the level in which they're playing, and just the confidence within the group right now. But, Belgium, early in the Pochettino years, Belgium smoked this team. Absolutely, absolutely smoked them. But for me, it's a toss-up, but I do give the edge to the U.S., one, the home field advantage, and two, just the form of play. But we've talked about this before, I can't talk bad about the goalkeeping because I haven't seen anything bad from the goalkeeping that makes me want to talk bad. But if you're watching these knockout stages, your goalkeeper is going to need to make 2 or 3 really big saves to keep your team, in a good spot. So that's the one thing where it's like, all right, hopefully Freeze is ready to make those 2 or 3 big saves, because we are 100% going to need them, because Belgium's going to get chances. Belgium's going to get chances. They're going to be the better team for a stretch of time. And it's going to be up to Matt Freeze to put out some of those fires and rob them of a couple chances. We haven't been able to see that yet. The opportunities hasn't presented themselves, but that, for me, that's like, he has to be able to make 2 or 3 of those big ones, and we'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, that's my question mark. I thought he was a little shaky, but hopefully he's gotten past that. But you straightened me out on that. You said he only kind of misplayed one. Everything else was kind of, it happens. But he's gonna that English goalkeeper last night, single-handed. Bellingham had a pretty good game. Saved 1 goal, scored 2 others. But that guy, 48 crosses, I think Mexico had, and he probably got his hands on 30 of them.
And that's the thing too. That's the thing about goalkeeping. He had some big saves, but he did such a good job of putting out fires. You know what I mean? The cross came in, he came in and cleared it out. And then you talk about Norway, Brazil. I mean, Norway's goalie won the game. I know that Erling Haaland had 2 goals. I know that Erling Haaland had 2 goals, but Norway's goalie won that game. So there's going to be moments you can't go through a World Cup without having a goalie make big time saves that save games and save moments and save momentum. We just haven't seen it yet. So we haven't been forced to see it. We just haven't seen it yet. So it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, all right, well, I hope that he's ready to go, because tonight you're gonna need it.
What did you think of that Mexican England game last night? Everybody's saying that was the game of the tournament. There's been about 5 or 6 of those, but that was pretty damn good.
That I agree. As fun as Cape Verde Argentina was, that had its moments, but from start to finish, that Mexico England game, I mean, you couldn't look away. Yeah. It had everything. It had the fan environment. I'm sure it was insane. You had an English team that was really dug in, and even though towards the end of the game England didn't have the ball, it was captivating watching them defend the way that they did. They had to do that for 30 minutes, and all the talk of the game was it was crazy. And then you talk about before the game, everyone's talking about the altitude and how England's going to be affected by the altitude. And it's like they dealt with it. I've played down there. I've played in that stadium, and it's a real thing. The altitude and the conditioning, it's a real thing. And for them to dig in the way that they did, it just, for me, it gave me so much more respect for an English team that I probably didn't have before that game.
Yeah. No, they played very well. All right. Who else is playing today? Spain and Portugal?
Yeah, Spain and Portugal. So whoever wins that plays whoever wins tonight. So they stack them up nicely like that.
Where would that quarterfinal game be if we get to the final 8? If we win tonight, God, I hope they come to the East Coast, for God's sakes.
I'm gonna get this. I'll probably get this wrong, but I think it's in Texas. I think it's the closest that they come would be Texas, up until, of course, the final if we get that. But I think that it would be in Texas, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I've looked at this schedule so many times, and these games and these times are
Yeah,
getting all
I
mixed
get
up in my
confused.
head.
All right. Lastly, so we kind of talked about this last week. Getting past Bosnia was the difference between a successful World Cup and a shitty one. We did that. Beating Belgium, finish the sentence. Beating Belgium would mean what to the United States men's national program?
We're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Playing with house money. Like for me, this is the game that you win that, and the U.S. cemented themselves in a place to be considered among some of the top countries in this game. And then once you get to the round of 8, it's anyone's game. And so for me, you get yourself to the position where we've solidified ourselves as a country that knows how to play this game, play it the right way, and should be talked about in the consideration of those top 10 teams when you're talking about the best teams in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big statement to make. But then you win this game, and then, the thing about this U.S. men's national team, and I'm always very cautiously optimistic because I understand the sport, and anything can happen on any given night. But for me, I don't see teams that are playing better, and that gives me a ton of hope versus anybody. So
Wow.
if we get ourselves versus Belgium, and we get that win versus a country that has that reputation, and even though we're favored, like quote unquote, the USA is not supposed to beat Belgium in soccer. Like that's just a thing. But if we win this game, then it turns the conversation into, oh no, we are supposed to play against these teams. We are supposed to be highly competitive against the best teams in the world, and bring on Spain or Portugal because we could go toe to toe with anybody.
Damn. Hey, by the way, thanks for the tickets on Saturday. We had a great time. It was a little hot out there, but man, you had a great crowd. July 4th, absolutely fantastic. We hope we weren't bad luck though. We had a couple of goals.
I think, man, like I hate to say it because I hate to say it because I love the jerseys. Like I love those USA jerseys, but we've lost 2 games, and both games they're wearing that jersey. So, so I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what
you
it
gotta go
is,
back to the green. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get back to the traditional colors because those jerseys are so sharp, and like there was a great crowd, and you know how it is, man. I'm allowed to curse on here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is, man. Like sometimes you just got to get your ass kicked, and unfortunately the Rowdies got their
I'll
ass
take the
kicked
blame.
on.
I'll
Yeah,
take the
unfortunately the
blame.
Rowdies got their ass kicked on Saturday night, but at the same time, man, this is a team that's playing at a really high level, and those things happen in sports. But
Of course.
hopefully everybody in the stands had a great time, and the whole thing is it's a beautiful backdrop, it's a beautiful setting. You saw it yourself,
incredible.
and
Incredible.
once you come once, like our goal is to get you back 2, 3, 4 more times. So. Of
Well,
course, you're
the
welcome.
beauty of it
Anytime you
is,
want, JP, you're welcome, of course.
man, I really appreciate it because Ashley had a great time. It was the first soccer game she'd ever been to.
Awesome.
And the beauty of it is like downtown St. Pete is so freaking cool. And
It
you go to
is.
the Rocky, we went to the game and then we walked over to the new Forbici. Shout out Jeff Chigate. Place is beautiful, well done. And we went to down on the farm, a little country music, then John Boy for a little 70s music.
Nice,
So
nice.
we did the whole thing and then
You
some
did the
fireworks.
loop. You did the loop.
Yeah, we did the whole loop, man. We're like,
nice.
and it wasn't crowded, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think everybody left town, but yeah, it was fantastic. And downtown St. Pete is so freaking awesome. And the backdrop for the Rowdies game is incredible. It's got to be the best in the sport. I mean, I can't see a better one than that. Looking over the sailboats and the marina and the green grass. It's gorgeous. So yeah, thanks for getting me down there again and realizing how awesome downtown St. Pete is. And the Rowdies got a great spot there. I don't know what the future holds, but man, you guys really, really have a great setup down there. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming, man. It goes a long way whenever we get somebody like yourself out there and champion it. So we appreciate it as well. And it's been around a long time, but sometimes it still feels like it's like a well-kept secret.
Yeah,
but it is a lot of fun down here. The stadium's beautiful, and like you said,
great vibe, man. Great
you
vibe.
You did the loop.
Ralph's
I've done
mob,
that.
yeah.
I've done that loop a few times. So I hope you Ubered. But
yeah, I'm a little old for it, but it fit right in. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was
man.
fantastic.
That's a solid night loop, man. I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that a handful of times as well. and
we went to the Sundial. Started off the day to see Young Washington at the Sundial Theaters, which is really nice. That place is really nice. It's like a very nice theater.
Yeah, nice, man. And the thing is, man, like I've been having to make this drive all summer long, and it's really not that bad.
It's not.
Really not. It's
nothing.
really not that bad.
Dude, it takes me longer to get to downtown Tampa.
Right. Depending
and
on
I live over by
right.
Salt Shack down just south of Gandy there. But the traffic, it takes me longer, especially when the Selman's backed up, which is like all the time. It'll take me 25 during for a Lightning game. It takes me 45 minutes sometimes to get to downtown Tampa and park. And I'm 8 miles, and then just zip over the bridge. It was nothing. It was nothing.
See, there we go. Yeah. Don't be afraid to make the drive. But if you do the loop, I'd recommend Ubering.
Yes, absolutely. Or take the ferry. We got the ferry going now too. That's pretty cool.
I know. Is that bad?
All right, partner.
Have they fired it up yet? The ferry, has it been fired up yet? I know they just bought the vessel.
I thought it was. We got to
check it out.
We
got to check it out because I'm going to take the ferry to a couple games if that's the case.
Yeah, that's the best way to do the Rowdies game, because you take the ferry from downtown Tampa. It's like 20, 30 minutes. Doesn't take hardly anything, and it parks right next to the stadium. Right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's like some of the cheapest beers in town. So you're going to pregame on a boat. What's better than that?
Yeah, and by the way, thanks for the $3 Michelob Ultra and Budweiser at the $1 hot dogs. That was fantastic on 4th of July at the Rowdies. So you guys do that a lot, or just 4th of July?
We've had the beer specials keep flowing. Yeah, the beer specials keep flowing for sure. Hot dogs, I think
that was good.
Hot dogs, I think were 4th of July things. I think the Rays helped us out a little bit with supplying the hot dogs. Yeah,
of course they did. Yeah. Wow, great stuff, man. Thanks for having me over there. You guys got a great product, and keep it rolling into the playoffs.
I appreciate it, man. Looking forward to talking again soon. Hopefully after USA win.
Yep, let's do it. Keep having you come on, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great stuff. Jeff Attanella there. You can find him on Twitter, all the Rowdy stuff right there as well. Yeah, good stuff. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back, get to your comments, thoughts. Eric Erlitz's going to join us at 11 o'clock to talk some Lightning. The Big O coming up at 11:30, talking Yankees, Stankies, and Rays. What a series this is going to be. Hey, we're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. Hey, if you go buy a car at Genesis of Tampa, you don't make any payments for 90 days. 90 days. What can you do with that money? Pay off some bills, maybe take a little summer vacation you hadn't planned on. Yeah, so if you need a new car, and don't forget, folks, if you go get a gently used one like I got, a 2023 GV70, which performs like a absolutely brand new car, even smells like a new car too. You get all these benefits, and if you're facing repairs on your car, what's that going to cost you? Like, what's that going to cost you? You get the warranty, you get everything, the service, everything comes with it at Genesis of Tampa. So check them out. Just head on over there, 801 East Bears Avenue. No payments for 90 days. And by the way, the product, the GV70 product, is absolutely fantastic. That's the one they're talking about, GV80, the other larger SUV, fantastic car. So check them out at genesisoftampa.com, and you just go see them, 801 East Bears Avenue. All right, back in 3 with their comments. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, If you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on this Monday. Timmy's a little under the weather, so we're handling this ourselves, so you don't get the usual bumper music and all that wonderful stuff because I can't do 17 things at once. I'm just not capable. But I thank you guys for joining us and jumping in the comments as well. So if you'd like to comment on the whole World Cup situation, the Balogun situation, bring it, or whatever you want to chat about. Eric Erlinson will join us at 11 o'clock here, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Lightning. Get some really interesting questions for him. I think he wants to weigh in on a little bit of this World Cup thing too. Todd Stat asks us, can they get this thing built before April 2029, or are we running out of time for 2029? The plan was always to get shovels in the ground fourth quarter of this year, and that's still in play. So all I can tell you, I'm not a construction expert, but I play one on the live stream, that Atlanta was built in 30 months. I think Houston was built in 31 months. Globe Life was built in 31 months. So under 3 years is doable. But with construction delays, global economics, who freaking knows? But that's the plan. And if they can get this vote done, then get everything approved, then on we go. And I think it will. I think they do have the votes, and I think it will pass, and I think we're off and running. So, and you're starting to see other media come to that realization, so that gives me even more confidence. So away we go. Yeah, I think it's doable. And if by chance there are some delays, they can stay in Tropicana Field for a few more months in 2029. Or if they have to stay a whole year, they can do that too. It's not like, they're going to blow it up if right at the end of the 28th season. I don't see that happening. Pooh Shiesty says, all I want for Christmas is shovels in the ground for the new stadium. All gas, no brakes. Let's get it done. I believe so. Danny Boy says the Rays are not staying in St. Pete past 2028. MLB has made that very clear. They want the Rays in Tampa. Yes, absolutely. They won't kick the Rays out of Tropicana Field. No, that's not going to happen. Todd Stat says, I like what the Lightning did with adding Carlson. The Ducks are going to be tight with the salary cap if they keep Leo Carlson. Trade options for Alex Killorn, Frank Vetrano, or Chris Kreider. Yeah, I don't think JBB is done. And we'll talk about this with Eric. It's still, I think they need a face-off guy. I don't know. I just kind of feel like, the Kucherov extension is not done. I don't know. I think I think there's still some moves to be made. Return or Jedi. Did I say that correctly? It says, I think the problem people have, just like in life, is the rules shouldn't just suit who is the most powerful or wealthy. Yeah. Welcome to the world. And I would agree with you. But I don't think that's what's happening here. That's why we pay attention to actually what happened. And people make mistakes, and there should be remedies for mistakes that are really, really important and need to be changed. And that's exactly what happened. As aviation says, spot the ball. Let's play some soccer. Let's play some football. Pooh Shiesty says, St. Pete is a great city. Imagine how much better it will be after they redevelop the slop site. Yeah, it is a tremendous city, man. And it's got a way different vibe than downtown Tampa. Downtown Tampa and Water Street is very nice. The Addition, all those places, really, really nice, if you know what I'm saying. Like way too expensive. Whereas St. Pete has a kind of a Nashville Broadway vibe, which I like better. Smaller places, lots of live music. You don't find that in Tampa. You're walking along Water Street, you don't see live music or good bands. You walk into Down on the Farm or some of these places in St. Pete, and it's like a Nashville bar. And it's got a vibe, and the band's rolling, and it's live music, and it's good. And I think it's frankly a little better than downtown Tampa. It's a different vibe, which is what you want, right? You want a different vibe. You want choices. So it's cool. I really like it. And it's not a good place for baseball. Great place for soccer. They should build or upgrade the soccer. I kind of like Al Lang as a baseball stadium. I like to see spring training come back to that and then build the Rowdies and the Sun a proper soccer stadium. You could do that on the Trop site. You could. Nadia Jordan says Balogun is a citizen by birthright, protected by the 14th Amendment. I find it ironic Trump wants him reinstated when he attempted to rescind birthright citizenship, like the 14th Amendment. Now, there we go. Let's put politics squarely into it. Attaboy. Well done. All right, let's talk some Lightning with our good friend Eric Erlinson, who joins us now. If I can pop him up. There we go. What's up, Double E's? How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. What's going
on? Where are you today? You're not at home in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't have the spoons behind me, right? I'm actually in Ohio, so just spending time with family up here. So
it's not ungodly hot up there, I hope, like it is here.
We got here on Friday and it was pretty hot. Like they had that wicked heat wave that came across.
That's right. Yeah.
They were hit by it. It was nice yesterday, I tell you. We were out on the back porch, just kind of sitting outside for a couple hours. I think it was about 77 degrees, 76 degrees.
Awesome.
It was great.
How was
it
your
felt
4th?
Like winter.
Did you have a nice 4th?
Very low key. Because of the heat up here, a lot of the stuff was canceled that we had planned on going to. So we went out for a lunch and came back and sat around and had some drinks, some adult beverages, and just kind of caught up with family. Yeah. Watch a little soccer.
Yeah. So how is your World Cup experience these days? What do you think of the Balogun decision and maybe another decision coming soon to you?
Yeah, obviously a surprise. Look, when the play happened in that game against Bosnia and Herzegovina, I understand why it was called a red card. I didn't like the fact that it was a red card. As somebody who officiates soccer myself, I can see the parameters for why a referee and official in that situation would call it a red card. And first of all, let's compare that one to the one last night in the England game.
Mm-hmm.
So the one in the England game, the player comes in, sliding in, studs up, right? That was serious foul play because he basically it's, did you put your opponent in jeopardy with your act? And certainly last night did that. That was a pretty clear-cut red card to me.
Yep.
I thought Balogun's it looked bad. Don't get me wrong. It was bad. I mean, you step on an ankle, and I mean, he could have broke his ankle. I'm shocked that he was able to get up and keep running the way that his ankle bent in that situation. And when you look at it in slow-mo, it's bad.
Yeah.
But to me, they're two different acts. And we don't judge intent. Like, we're supposed to take intent out of it. Certainly the English player wasn't intending to put his studs into the into the shin of the Mexican player, right? But Balogun's to me was a soccer play that went wrong.
Yeah.
There was no act on his part that necessarily there was nothing he did that put his opponent in that kind of danger, but it did happen. So again, I understand why it was called a red card, but for FIFA to come out if they were going to do this, it probably should have been done a couple of days ago, not 24 hours before the match.
Yes, agreed.
Like, you look at the precedent, like Cristiano Ronaldo just through this, right? Like he had a red card, first red card he'd ever received for throwing an elbow at an opponent. And that is a violent act, and that's almost an automatic red card. Well, he served one game of the 3-game suspension, but those other two would have carried over into the first 2 games of group stage. So what FIFA did there was they suspended the suspension and put a player on a probationary period, which means if Ronaldo gets another red card, not only is the suspension going to be reinstated, there will probably be additional games tacked onto it. So this is basically the same thing they've done with Balogun here.
Right.
The red card wasn't rescinded, and that's kind of the common misconception. They didn't take away the red card, but basically they say that the suspension, it's a suspended suspension.
Yes.
You want to kind of put a double entendre.
Yeah, I said rescinded. You're correct. You're correct. Yeah.
So it's the same situation here. If Balogun gets himself into a situation where he's going to get another red card, he will be suspended not only for the one game that he had, he'll get additional games on top of it. So obviously it's going to create a lot of controversy. Certainly the Belgian Federation's not happy with it. I get it. I understand it. I find, UEFA's statement talking about it, they didn't say anything when Ronaldo's suspension got lifted.
Not a bit.
It helped a European country. And of course, this way it goes against a European country. So everybody has bias in this that's involved with these decisions from an outsider's standpoint. Do I think that the U.S. could still beat Belgium tonight without Balogun? I think they're deep enough to do it. With him and the way that he has performed and played in this tournament to this point, he obviously gives them a much better chance. His speed, his attacking ability to find open areas, especially if he can get Pulisic involved like he did against Paraguay, coming down the wing and get Balogun to make those runs with him, it's going to make the U.S. a much dangerous team to try and defend for Belgium. But obviously a lot of controversy around this. But the bottom line is the USA's best goal scorer is going to be on the pitch tonight.
And that's the right decision. I think given the circumstances,
so.
That's the right decision. Now it would have been nicer if we just moved on at that point and no red card was given. We wouldn't be talking about it, and that would have been the right decision in my opinion. You're a soccer referee. I think you would agree with that.
Yep.
But they didn't do that. And now, so everything, now you got to get Trump involved in it, and then it totally goes fucking haywire.
Well, the other part of it, too, is obviously VAR is here for a reason, and it's not going away. And I'm fine with it. I think VAR. I mean, you saw it last night in the PK. Both the PKs that were not initially granted by the referee, but VAR showed a clear and obvious error.
And I think they got that right.
I agree with you. I agree. Both of them were the correct decision. And with VAR getting involved in the Balogun situation, like they're not supposed to use slow motion replay to make that consideration,
That's
to
where they
flag the
screwed up.
referee for it.
That's
And I think that factors into this as well, is that maybe VAR was misused a little bit based on the laws of the game as it pertains to VAR in this situation. So I think there's a lot of considerations that went through this to get to this point.
Yeah. And the fact that the referee that made the call has a history, or it was an investigation for match fixing, it makes it even more fun. Eric, have you ever match fixed have you ever been approached by a parent with a wad of $100 bills to say, you're like, I wish?
No, I am not. No,
that wasn't a really quick answer, Eric. I think we need to explain more.
Except in joking manners. Clear and obvious joking manners.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, let's talk a little hockey. Just what's your overall view of what JBB has done, and do you think he's done?
You never know with him. I don't want to be at a poker table with Julien BriseBois.
No.
Because he told us in May that the free agency market was thin, and he didn't think that was anywhere that they could look to. All the guys would be re-signed. Lo and behold, I go out and get Mikheyev and Carlson in free agency, and then Jeff Vial as well. Do I think he's done? You never know with him. I don't foresee free agent ads unless there's a subtraction. They get about 3.5 million in cap space remaining. The next biggest thing for me is the Nikita Kucherov extension when that comes, and I think it will come. Before training camp, I think that will happen. Mm-hmm. I think it was middle of July the last time he signed his contract. John
that won't affect this year's cap.
No,
the extension.
It'll be an extension, and the cap again goes up next year. So I think it went up $9.5 million this year. I think it's going to be pretty close to another jump like that next season. But John Carlson is going to help. He's going to help fill the void left behind by Darren Radish. Same cap hit, 6 fewer years on it. John Carlson can still play at a high level. He averaged 23 minutes a night last season for Washington and Anaheim. I thought Carlson looked pretty good for the Ducks in that series against Edmonton and certainly against Vegas. So he can still skate. He can still move. He's a right-handed
shot. And he was running the power play, wasn't he? Yeah.
And anybody with a shot, as we saw last year, that can handle Nikita Kucherov one-timers is going to have a good opportunity to produce some offense on this power play if they can get it right. So he's going to help big time, both 5-on-5 and on the power play for sure. They won't ask him to kill penalties. So maybe that limits his ice time a little bit. Mikheyev, look, he's kind of this classic middle six type of forward who can skate. He's a pest on the forecheck. He kind of fits a lot of the mold of some of the ways that the Lightning want to play. Curious to see if he gets the chance to play with Sorelli and Hagel, who we know are forecheck and demons themselves. If he can kind of fit in there, we'll see what Gage Gonsalves kind of fits into the mold. But, the Mikheyev is a classic sort of Lightning molded player that can kind of just plug in. He's a terrific penalty killer. He led Chicago in shorthanded ice time, and Chicago's PK was among the best last season. So, he can kind of fill that role as well. Maybe take some of that burden off Jake Gensel, who ended up killing a lot of penalties down the stretch last year. Look, in Jeff Vial, we all know why he was brought in, right? It's I think all you're going to do is look a little south. To see what the Panthers are doing down there.
Chuck Brothers have anything to do with this?
And Radko Gudas, and so I think that was I don't want to say a reaction, but with that thought process in mind of what he could potentially bring. And look, he scored a couple of huge goals for Anaheim in that series against Edmonton, and actually took on a checking role against McDavid for about half that series. I looked at the ice time. He was right there among matchup, forwards against the McDavid line, and handled himself very well. So, he's kind of gotten to the point in his career where he can be a effective player beyond what, the pugilism that he brings to the ice. And the addition, the big one that I think has kind of gone under the radar is the addition of Dennis Hillebrand, right? He's a 24-year-old, 6'7" goaltender. A lot of people believe he's ready. He's 6'7". Wow. He's ready to kind of make that jump to the NHL and see some regular playing time. So now you have a young goaltender behind Andre Vasilevsky. Certainly the Lightning saw enough of Hildebrand last year when he shut them out in Toronto in December, and what he's capable of doing. Maybe it can kind of give you the opportunity to maybe not play Vasilevsky 60 games. Maybe you can play him 55. Maybe you can play him 50 games. And it's a contract control for 2 years for, I think cap hit is around $860,000. So, they'll find a home for Jonas Johansson. That's one of the things that Julien said when he made this acquisition. So, it's after 4 straight first-round playoff exits, and certainly the urgency level is starting to rise a little bit as, the Kucherovs turn 32, 33, and Vasilevsky's 32, 33, and Hedman's, 36, and McDonough's 37. Like, you got some guys who are getting up there. I think you're starting to feel the urgency of not necessarily a window closing, but understanding the difficulties that it takes to get back to a championship level, especially when you look at the improvements of a Montreal, the improvements of a Buffalo. Ottawa, even after the trade of Brady Tkachuk, still thinks that they're a team on the rise. So the division is more difficult to find points out of. And I think some of these moves, look, you signed a 35-year-old defenseman and a 31-year-old forward in free agency that are going to take on roles. So you didn't get younger by adding these players, but I think it just kind of lends itself to the urgency level that I think a lot of people in the organization are maybe starting to feel a little bit, knowing at some point Nikita Kucherov's not going to be a 100-point performer. Who do you got, kind of helping not replace him or, just kind of complement him maybe a little bit better down the road. Same thing with a Hedman, same thing with a Vasilevsky, and so on. Yeah,
I think our blue line has promotional opportunities at the Villages. I think we might. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. But anyway, Michael LaRue asks us, what are the Lightning going to do about face-offs, winning face-offs? Is it something that's just not a priority for JBB? Interesting question.
Well, look, you can't go out and get a guy who just wins face-offs. They've got to be able to do more, right? Because if you bring in a power or a face-off specialist, what else is he going to do? Look, there's no doubt it was an Achilles heel last year. I can't sit here and say there was a time when it cost them a game. The Montreal game in December, I think about, they had the lead with 11 seconds, lost a D-zone draw. Montreal tied it. Lightning went on to win that game in a shootout. So there's those odd ones here and there, but it is something to kind of think about. I think Anthony Cirelli is so wildly inconsistent. If you could find a way to get him consistent, because one game he'll go 4 for 29, the next game he'll go 20 for 27, right? Like, he's so up and down. Braden Point certainly has not been a good face-off guy really since his rookie year. Will Sam O'Reilly come in and do it? Sam O'Reilly, at least a junior, it's not the NHL, it's not the AHL, but in junior, he was about a 58, 59% face-off performer.
That's impressive.
So is he somebody that can kind of come in and be that type of a player? Zemgus Girgensons, he won some pretty good face-offs. He didn't play center a lot last year. But, to go out and just find a face-off guy, it's a little short-sighted. You need it. It's important. It's one of those intangibles of the game that you want to be better at. And certainly Lightning were not good at it last year. But you can't go out and just fill that one particular. Otherwise, they would have just held on to Luke Glendening, right? Because Glendening was that guy. And unfortunately, Glendening he killed penalties and he won faceoffs. He wasn't going to provide a lot of offense. His line wasn't going to spend a lot of time in the offensive zone. So he had that 58%-ish sort of pedigree on the faceoffs, but he didn't bring much else to the ice. So you have to be able to bring, it's like fighters. It's great that you can fight, but if you can't get on the ice like Curtis Douglas, right? It was great that they brought in Curtis Douglas last year and they tried to make it work with him. But he wasn't able to fill beyond just what the one role was. So you have to be a little bit more multifaceted than just a specialist performer. And look, if you bring in a center, they're not replacing Braden Point. They're not replacing Anthony Cirelli, probably not replacing Yanni Gourde. So where is a center that's going to win faceoffs going to fit in your lineup?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just as easy as fill in that one problem. You can get better at it too. And, yeah, it's not just the guy in the circle. It's the other guys claiming the puck as well. They need to be better at times.
Yeah. And there were a couple of times last year where Cirelli was sort of challenged and he answered. Right.
Yeah.
I got hit with the broadcaster jinx last year because there was the game early on in Boston where Cirelli was like 5 for 30. Like he had a terrible night in the faceoff, but he did one key defensive zone draw late in the game against Boston. And then for like the next 10, 12 games, he was at like 55%. Yeah. So of course I brought it up on the air, and immediately that game he went like 6 for 30. So
yeah,
that's why I talk the wild inconsistencies.
Yeah. David Terry says, I think we missed out on Trocheck. Double E. Your thoughts?
He's face-off guy for sure. He can kill some penalties. But you got to take on the cap hit. That's at the end of the day. Like I said, they have 3.2, so you're moving somebody out to bring in a Trocheck, and you filled that with Mikheyev, who's 4.2, 4.3, I think, or 3.8. I'm sorry, on a 4-year deal. Carlson's 8.5. So whatever, that's 11, 12 million of your available cap space that you filled up, and there'll be a little bit more that opens up when and if they can find somewhere to trade Johansson to. That's, I think, 1.25, I think, is what Johansson's cap hit is at. But to say we missed out on Trocheck, again, going back to who is he replacing in the lineup?
Yeah, exactly. It's got to fit for everything. Eric Erlinson joining us here, lightninginsider.com, worldcupinsider.com as well. Interesting conversation about Victor Hedman and where he fits. And I don't know if JBB said this, but there's been some talk about him competing for ice time. I mean, is this like a shot across the bow, like get your shiz together and let's get back to working here and getting right? Because there's still plenty of mileage on those tires, right? I mean, he's 36, 35, 36.
Yeah. I agree that there's still more for Victor Hedman. There's no doubt that last year took a toll on him, I think, physically and mentally, right? He had the injury at the end of the season before when he broke his foot against the Panthers that limited his summer. He got injured in the first preseason game and missed the rest of the preseason. And then he had the elbow injury. And then everything else that led to the end of the season. So limiting him to 33 games. And when he did come back from the injury, like his role was reduced, right? He wasn't on the first or the second power play. He wasn't the guy out there in the 6-on-5 extra attacker situations. They were actually using Dastu in some of those situations. And some of that is can Dastu handle it? But you do have to start wondering what type of a role is Victor Hedman going to have this year? Can he get back to a level that we know he's been at, even in the later stages of his career? And the big thing with me in watching Victor, he's always been such an elite skater.
Yeah.
Even for a guy who's 6'6", 6'7", to, get up and down the ice the way he can. I always remember the famous line Rick Bowness gave to us more than once. He said Victor Hedman could beat out his own icing. That's how good of a skater he was.
Yes.
So that's the one thing that I noticed wasn't there last year. Like his skating was not on par, even close to what we're used to seeing from him.
Yeah.
And that's the area he's got to get that level back.
Well, he looked like he gained significant weight. Like there was, and maybe that was from injury or whatever, but he was slower. And I think a lot of it had to do, I don't know if he was in physical condition, which the good part of that is you can get back in good physical condition. That's where I think he can make the most improvement. And that's going to obviously help his skating and everything. He's got to be mentally right as well. But I think there's a lot of improvement that where just from physicality, he can get back to it.
Yeah. Well, and even listening to him at the end of the season when he talked about the foot injury that really limited, because there's only so much you can
It's going
do.
to help. It's going to make you gain weight.
Yeah, because all you can work on is upper body. You can't do
Right.
the stuff on your lower body and your legs, which obviously, and state the obvious here, it's a big part of how you can skate, right?
Yeah.
So it really limited him for, I mean, a standard healing factor, 4 to 6 weeks for any sort of a fracture, sometimes
6 to 8.
6
Yeah,
to 8.
6 to 8. Yeah.
So there's no doubt that it absolutely limited him and what he could do in his training. And then I think all the other injuries just kind of took their toll on him. And that's when he had, when he left the game in Vancouver and basically just reached a point mentally where he knew he wasn't performing up to his level and he had to get himself right. So hopefully the mental part of it is back to being right. And that can get him into the situation where he can't form. I mean, look, he's not that much older than John Carlson.
Right.
He's not that much older. So I could absolutely see a situation where he comes in a training camp motivated. I think there's a motivation factor. And I think that, if Julien is making those sort of comments to us in the media, there's conversations that have been had behind the scenes along those same lines. So there's no doubt that this will be a challenge, I think, for Victor Hedman to get back. And, and there's the biggest question, I think, with this team as we sit right now on July 6th, heading into training camp, I think the defense is the biggest question mark. Can Victor Hedman return to form? Was Ryan McDonough's season just injury related? He had a foot problem as well that they had a hard time finding a way to get right and for him to feel comfortable on the ice. Remember, he came back for 3 games and then missed another, 3 or 4 weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
So was his season where, he led the league in plus minus the year before, was his drop off injury related or was his age related? There's some motivation there as well.
Right? Yeah.
Can JJ Moser have the same type of year he had last year where he ascended himself to the team's number 1 defenseman? Darren Radis led the team in ice time. Can John Carlson slide right in and fit into that role? I think he can, but it's still a question mark. At Dastu, can he take another step forward even at the age of 27 and add some more offense? I assume he's going to run the number 2 power play, unit from the point position. Can Emil Lilleberg take another? There's a lot of questions. I think we know what the forward group is going to look like and what they can bring. Yeah. I think there's a lot of questions around the blue line, and the biggest one starts with, can Victor Hedman get anywhere back to being the same type of player that we know he has been?
All right, last question for you, Double E's. Prospect camp. I know O'Reilly, Pridham were there. Anybody coming out of there you think can help the team this year?
This year, no. Not this year. Look, I mean, most of these players are, 18 to 20, 21 years old, right? And O'Reilly, we didn't get to see in the 3-on-3 because he had a little bit of a wrist issue that he was dealing with. And he had a long season, between World Juniors and a second consecutive run to the Memorial Cup. He had a long year. So he came in and did what he had to do. Getting Pridham here, I think helps, right? You get him introduced to the organization, similar to O'Reilly last year. Look, this was O'Reilly's first development camp. He didn't get traded until the middle of July last year. So this was his first development camp to kind of get introduced in some ways to, what Barb Underhill and her staff can do with guys and their skating ability. But I think a couple of guys to keep an eye on. One is Jason Shoggerby. He's a former line mate of Dominic James at Minnesota Duluth. He's going back to college this year. His stock has kind of slowly, steadily risen over the last couple of years and what college hockey's been able to do for him. Oleg Kuliapikin, I probably butchered that last name. You could kind of see some of the skill set and why the Lightning moved up to be able to draft him this year. Getting the opportunity to meet Nikita Kucherov was a big moment for him. So I think that's just going to kind of boost him. I'm sure we'll see him in training camp in September. And then, the defenseman, and I forget his name, Thomas, the other draft pick, the first pick in the 4th round this year, they signed him the contract on the ice, his entry-level contract. I think he came in and made the right kind of impressions to earn that contract. I don't think that means we'll see him this year, but it's a good sign, for him to get started in Syracuse, assuming it's Syracuse, to get moving. But these development camps outside of O'Reilly, there's probably not anybody you can sit here and say, yeah, they're going to have an immediate impact on the organization. But we'll definitely keep an eye on Jack Freedom because he's going to University of Denver and they're a powerhouse. And David Carl has produced a lot of NHL players, and the relationship he already has with O'Reilly after winning a Memorial Cup with him. So there's guys to keep an eye on, but O'Reilly's really about the only guy you can think that would have an impact immediate.
All right, Double E's, enjoy your time up there in cool Ohio.
It's going to get hot again.
We'll be sweating it out down here. LightningInsider.com. Tell everybody how they can jump on that as the season approaches. It's not too far away.
Yeah, and look, it's going to be a little bit sooner this year because the season starts sooner. The season will start at the end of September. It's a 4-game preseason, and it's an 84-game regular season. So 3 fewer preseason games, but 2 more regular season games just means the season's going to start a little bit sooner.
I did not know that. They added 2 games to the regular season?
Yeah, it's going to be 84-game season.
I did not know that.
But they've reduced training camp. It was part of the new CBA. So so you've got 2 preseason games against Nashville and 2 preseason games against our buddies down to the south on the Florida Panthers. So those will be some fireworks, I'm sure, as we already know that those games can kind of lend themselves to. So you want to be ready for it all. LightningInsider.com is the website. 2 opportunities. There's a yearly plan at $49.99 and a monthly plan at $5.99. And you won't find any more experienced coverage of this team than you will at LightningInsider.com.
That's for damn sure. Thank you, Double E's. Appreciate you, my man. Thanks.
All right. Be well.
See you. We got soccer and Lightning out of him. That was good. Well done. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Big O will be joining us to talk some baseball. I'm going to get to your comments as well, especially Rick, who says the Blue Blind brought to you by the Blue Pill. Score when you're ready. Those guys are not going to like that at all. We're already making jokes, old guy jokes. Well, it is what it is. All right, quick break. When we come back, Big O will join us. We'll have your comments and talk a little Rays, Yankees as we get ready for a huge series. We don't play them till the end of the year either, which is interesting. So quick break, back in. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on. Big O's chair is empty, but he will be here momentarily. Talk a little baseball with you guys. I want to remind you that the Golden Diamond Source is paying top dollar for that old gold jewelry and silver and everything else you got there. Diamonds, bring it on in. Julie and Steve will pay you handsomely for that and get discounts on buying something new and shiny there. It's a no-brainer, folks. Just go into the old jewelry box, find something your wife hasn't worn for years. Don't ask her. Just bring it in. No, you better ask her. Say, hey, honey, you wearing this anymore? You didn't need it. Maybe I will take it in, buy you something new and shiny. It's a great idea. Head on over there. Gold has never been higher. Silver has never been higher. So that's what they're doing with the Golden Diamond Source. And of course, if you're looking for that special diamond, they've got the best staff. They've got the best selection. You can design anything you want there. In terms of your rings, what the mountings look like, you can do that. And don't forget 0% interest as well for 5 years means you can get a $5,000 diamond for just $83. So if you're thinking about it, pop the question, pull the trigger, go to the Golden Diamond Source first and get that taken care of. All right, let's get to a couple more comments here. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Pooh Shiesty says the HC Dale Mabry campus is mostly parking lots and makes site prep that much easier. Yeah, that was another brilliance of this particular site for the Rays is that so much of it is just parking lots, pickleball courts, and tennis courts. Not that pickleball is not important. It's very important. But they're moving all that just over to the other park not far away. Going to have lights, much better facility for that. Yeah, there's two buildings, the newer buildings on the HC campus that will remain. And then the older ones that were built in 1970 will be knocked down. And then the new campus will be kind of tucked over there into the corner. And then the Rays Stadium in the other corner. And then the other build out to the north of it. I was actually watching a video on YouTube. Wasn't Brody. A guy who does, he's an Orlando realtor, does a really, Jared James, I believe his name is. And he did the top 15 projects going on in Florida right now. And the Rays project was one of them. It is astounding the amount of construction that is going on in the I-4 corridor, not just, housing developments, which of course there's a lot, but Disney is in the middle of a $60 billion. They're building 2 new theme parks, the Villains World and another one. And Universal is doing the same. Of course, they just built Epic Universe, and they're doing another one or doing something else. So you got huge projects, theme park projects going on in Orlando, like $60 billion. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And then you've got the Rays deal, which is going to be $8 to $10 billion. You've got the Miami Airport deal that's going to be $14 billion. There's the finishing touches are being put on the Everglades renourishment project. That's another $15 billion project that's there. You're going to finish 5 years and ahead of schedule and ahead of budget. You got the Jacksonville deal going on there. You got the University of Florida. It's going to be $1.5 billion. So the amount of stadium construction, theme park construction, airport construction, we just finished the $1.5 billion at Tampa, or they're in the process of continuing that. There's a lot of shit going on in Florida, and it's big time money in construction. So, for Tampa to even think about not doing this deal is just kind of silly. And I think all the commissioners have gotten to that point where, this is coming to Florida. The infrastructure needs to be upgraded, and it needs to be done. And it will be done, hopefully soon. All right. The man, the myth is here. The big O. Orestes de Estrada. Yeah, you got your own camera now.
Look at this thing.
I got the remote going on here.
Yeah. Do I look? Does it got the good filter?
You got the Barbara Stanwyck filter, Bonanza filter working. Yeah.
Ramon, what's up, dog?
He's not here.
He's not here?
Did not post 4th of July. Got him.
Got him. Nicked him.
Got him.
Got him. Yeah.
I'm sure he had a good time.
Yeah. Well, that's all.
Said I woke up feeling like shit. I'm like, yeah, there's 75 Coronas yesterday, probably.
Yeah. That's
all. He was rooting for Mexico.
Let's hope that he scored a goal.
Yeah. He got it past the tender.
I hope that he got it past the goalkeeper.
There you go. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want it back.
It depends. It depends. Dude, by the way, that was some UK Mexican game.
Mexico. Somebody said it was the biggest upset, Mexico losing to England. No, England was favored in that match.
No, England was favored. No. The upset is that you have 81,000 people there
that were upset.
75,000 because they had that one little section
of England
of the blokes.
Yeah,
and the blokettes. And there probably maybe 4,000 or 5,000.
Maybe
76,000 people were against you.
I would not want to be leaving that.
It's listen,
Azteca.
The cartel. I don't know what's going on. I just want to say.
Did you see the video of the buses that were coming in?
Yeah,
when the buses were coming in. Yeah, that was not a warm welcome.
They had to do 11 different hotels that they booked so the fans wouldn't get to them.
Yeah,
I gotta hand it to them. Being a former athlete, you playing, yourself, and listen, the pressure of visiting fans and visiting stadiums is monumental. And
well, you did that in Japan, right?
Yeah. 55,000 won a series. I remember at the Tokyo Dome, and literally 50,000 were Tokyo Giants fans. And though their fandom is much more nicer and they clean up after each other and all that stuff, but
yeah, there's no comparison to those whack
every
jobs
strike.
In Mexico.
That was for them 50,000 would cheer. Every hit that was for them 50,000.
Really?
Oh, dude. I mean, the Giants fans in Tokyo are intense, bro. The Giants and the Tigers, the Hanshin Tigers, are the most rabid fans in Japanese baseball. So you feel it. You feel it when you play in those stadiums. They're chanting. It's a college football atmosphere. So they're singing and chanting and drumming the whole game. So you really have to. That's the other thing that I'm watching these matches. And just like in baseball, I always talk about the big 2 words, the heightened awareness, how you have to block that out because you can't help but the cheering is in your it's palatable. You feel it in your cells. So you have to zone that out. And to get at the level that this team did for UK to be able to be a man down for 35 minutes was 40 minutes, something like that.
At altitude.
At altitude.
Yeah. I saw one guy
of the most pressure-filled scenarios for a team to hold on to a victory.
You literally can't breathe.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I played in Mile High, and that was wicked.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah, and you're expending so much energy, down a man.
They're going, it's not even comparable to baseball because you get the break.
Oh, and that level, the pace of that game was just up and down.
Well,
up and down.
And then playing defense, and all you're trying to do is just, comparable to hockey when you're a man down and you're just trying to.
Felt like the Alamo.
Holy shit.
So the English got a little sense of what it was like for old Daniel Boone and the boys to be backed up. Yeah. Here comes Santa Ana.
Hold it.
The Hall of Mexico.
Hold them down.
At your doorstep.
Just protect them.
Yeah.
No, that was phenomenal, man. It was a great weekend of sports with that. Obviously, the Rays dropped a couple, but, listen, it was a formidable game last night. The Houston defense was on point. They made some great defensive plays. A couple of miscues by us, but really those weren't what that cost the game. A couple of balls that were just tagged. And I'm going to tell you something, just for a quick second. The Houston Astros remind me very much of the Rays minus the pitching.
Yeah.
That offense.
Well, who's running that team? Isn't it a former from
the tree of Eric Neander? So one of many.
Andrew Friedman, right?
And Andrew Friedman, yeah. So they're the team president, but they've got hitters. They got their own tremendous trio.
Well, they got our old hitter Paredes.
Yeah, and
of course our new third baseman ain't too shabby.
No, but I mean they've got a veteran obviously leading off, and Altuve. He's on his downside, but still dangerous. Then you got their tremendous trio, with the great MVP leading Jordan Alvarez, one of the pretty.
Boy, he's good.
Not just that, but because of the fact that he's left-handed, and anytime you look at it, baseball swings, and we've talked about this before, the left-handed swing, a beautiful left-handed swing is the prettiest thing in baseball.
Yes.
It's the prettiest thing in baseball. Nothing against righties. I was a switch hitter.
Did you feel guilty batting right-handed?
No, I loved hitting back. I was a much better right-handed hitter, but than I was lefty. But so I probably it's for another time. But my dad switched me over because he realized that, oh shoot, you were born lefty, but I made you righty. So that's how I became a switch hitter when I was about 10. And he said, yeah, you should switch hit. But I talked to you about the fact that you're left side. So I was very powerful from the right side. But it was more of an aggressive, Mike Schmidt hard swing, while lefty was that fluid thing. What Jordan Alvarez has right now, it's just a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
It really
high
is.
Finish.
The ball that he missed off of Morgan Engler, that he flied out to left center, he wanted to hit that 450 feet to center.
Well, Engler had a great game.
Phenomenal.
Spot start.
Phenomenal.
9
great
strikeouts.
Threw 100 pitches, gave them everything they needed because they were in between, obviously, with the start.
Sets them up really well for the Yankee series.
For the Yankee series, even though it's a loss.
You take an L, but there was some good work
not
done.
Only an L, I mean, not only, you lose, but he went deep. So you just saved your bullpen and saved the start. So now you come in, not necessarily riding high because you lost the last 2 games, but you fought hard on Saturday, a walk-off. They're not losing easy right now. They're winning good, and even when they lose,
it's a tight game.
It's a dreaded 1 or 2 run games. So great weekend series of baseball. One more thing in the state of Florida and Major League Baseball. Hey, I want your take on this. Yuri Perez getting taken out with 92 pitches in a perfect game. And I've texted this morning several of my Miami guys, my friends, and they're like, oh, they know what they're doing. They're protecting because they didn't, they didn't think they'd be in the race in July, and you got to protect this kid. 92 to 115.
I talked about this at the beginning of the show, and I was reminded of something that Smoltz said. He said, all the other part of that is protecting these players. You never build them up. They never get strong. But the other part of that, especially in a situation where, and you saw this out of Seymour, when you're pitching that good, there's no stress on you.
Yeah.
Everything's in the slot.
Everything.
It's just, you're not overpowering it. It's just so easy. It's coming so easy to you. You don't get hurt in those situations.
I don't think you do.
No, everything's in the slot. Everything's working.
If he's at 105, if he has 10, he ended at 92 through 7. If he's at 105, 110 at that point, I get it. Then you're kind of like playing the Johan Santana.
I hate to say this.
Remember the Johan Santana?
Bob Gibson used to routinely throw 160 pitches.
Oh no, but we're talking. Different
I know, but it's still the human body.
They also had a four-man rotation.
So. Yeah, but it's also the human body. It's the same thing.
You build it, but he's not built yet. So Bob Gibson,
I get that, but in one situation, to push a guy to like 110, 115,
we're not talking.
His arm's not going to fall off.
15 to 20 pitches. Huh. Let him go. Start the 8th. He gives a hit. You take him out. Right? They're up 8-0. Start the 8th. He gets 3 quicks outs. Start the 9th.
Right.
And let him ride out to about. My point would have been 112, 115.
And listen,
so he had 20 more pitches to get to 2 innings.
And here's the other thing, and I had this rant last week. What about the fans? What about the 7 Marlins fans that were there that wanted to see the perfect?
No. Here's the irony. The Oakland fans, look at me. The Athletic fans, because they're no longer Oakland, excuse me, because they went by the wayside the way we don't want the Rays to go.
Right,
by the
exactly.
Way. So the Athletic fans wanted him to stay in the game. They were like almost booing this.
Yeah,
like the Perez is not coming back out.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
They were there. Baseball, let me say something.
For a franchise that needs a moment?
Baseball to the fans, the diehard fans, which you hope you would figure that at least a third of every 20, 30, 40,000 fans that show up, probably a third of them are diehard baseball purists.
Yeah.
They respect greatness like that. In fact, it's almost like people remember whether it was thrown against them or on their home.
It's a historic moment in baseball. You're at the game.
You're at the game.
You pay for tickets hoping that you'll get a moment like that.
Even if it's the other team, but somebody hits 4 home runs.
Yeah.
Somebody does something like that, or a historic strikeout. Nolan Ryan hits 4,000 or 5,000. There's something to be said about that for the fandom, especially since we're so stat
I think there's a lot to be said about that. Bro. And I think, any manager or organization that sits there and says it shouldn't be taken into consideration, I call bullshit. Because in the end, this is entertainment. It's entertainment. And if you're taking him out, it's because you want to protect your investment. It's probably more about money than anything else. And that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's not like if the guy's shit, if he was, hurt, I get it. You're taking him out, but he's just breezing.
Yeah,
he's breezing.
Breezing through. He had like 8 or 9 strikeouts, 7.
It's easy.
They weren't touching him. Fastball was popping. He didn't even throw that many breaking pitches. He was just spotting.
And you know this better than anybody. And not that you were a pitcher, but about it. It's like, you come to a game and every pitcher, usually says there's like, you either have your great stuff because your timing is just perfect, and you have your middle stuff where you're all right, it's kind of popping. Then there's just your shit stuff.
Right.
It's just nothing's working. You feel like whatever, and that's when you get hurt because you're trying to overthrow to get to your velocity. But when you're dealing like that, man, you ain't gonna get hurt.
I'll never forget one of my teammates with the Yanks was the great. I believe he passed away actually, sadly, man, because he was a really cool dude. The great Claudell Washington.
Oh yeah, he was a
character. He was a character, right? Played with the Braves, played with a lot of teams, Cleveland, the Yanks, and the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I think he played with the Angels. Yeah, that was his long tenure.
The Angels. So he tells me the story about Nolan Ryan. He goes, "Big old man. One day we have a day game." And there's like a twilight, and the shadows is between home and first, home and the home base and the pitcher's mound. And Ralph Gard's leading off. I'm hitting second. Nolan Ryan's on the mound. Ralph Gard goes up there. He sees 3 pitches. And you know how the way Ralph Gard used to walk back, he was like dragging his bat. He used to walk up like dragging his bat. And he comes back. He goes, "Don't worry about Claudio. We ain't got a chance against this guy today." And he said, "We ain't got a chance." It was one of his 7 no-hitters.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said we did not have a chance.
He knew right off the bat.
Yeah, off the bat. That the great Ralph Gar, who was ball to bat contact guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy could put the ball to.
Ain't got no chance, man.
He goes, "Yo, don't worry about it, Claudio. We ain't got no chance against this guy today." Can you imagine? No hitter. After the first hitter, he knew what was going on.
Yeah. And you imagine Shadows?
Oh, with
Nolan Ryan?
Holy shit.
Like, good luck.
Yeah. He goes, it's over.
I'd feel bad. I would feel scared.
Shadows or no shadows.
Because if you can't pick up that ball
and it's
coming at you.
And he'd like to throw in.
Oh, yeah, he did.
So
did you ever face him?
I did. Yeah. Yeah, no, nothing. I struck out on a
yeah, I got nothing.
I added to his mark on a 3-2 curveball that he threw me that he froze me with after a bunch of fastballs that he fouled off. And he goes, enough of this kid. Boom, boom. And I was like,
starts at your head, ends up in your fucking belly.
But no, I mean, there's sometimes a pitcher. You make a great point, and that is the comfort level. You saw it with Englert yesterday. He just felt comfortable. The changeup, the little slider sweeper.
Dealing, man.
He was dealing. Actually, both pitchers were dealing.
Yeah,
Lambert.
Yeah, he was good.
Lambert's sweeper was he threw
an effort. It just looked effort.
He threw 3 to Junior's first at bat that just disappeared. I mean, literally that ball, all 3 of them were middle, and then just went whoop, and Junior's swung through it. But listen, getting back to Junior. I know you talked about it, but the things that he's doing are just, otherworldly. In fact, look up his stats real quick because I left my phone over here. But I want you to see what he's not only is he just, on a pace right now when he went 11 for 11, right? 11 homers in 11 games. In fact, 10 homers in 9 games. But the key things that I was, searching for last night and looking about him is what a better hitter he's become from last year to halfway during this year, which should not change in the second half, I believe.
Well, I retweeted something the other day. See if I can find it here real quick. About
go ahead.
That tracked his numbers. Basically from 24, every one of his metrics has improved dramatically. Like his chase rate in 24 to 25 to 26, his exit velocity, everything has just
I'm going to give you
statistically gotten better.
I'm going to give you a couple stats that are
dramatically better too.
Yeah, a couple stats that are just glaringly better, right? From last year to this year, at this point this year compared to a full season last year. Okay, so last year, how many walks do you think Junior had last year?
Total? I don't know.
Guesstimate.
120?
No. Are you kidding me? He wishes. I wish that he would even reach 100 this year, which he might. He had 41 walks last year. 41 walks. He's already got 49 walks this year in half a season. He had 41 last year.
Jeez, Pete.
49 already. So he's like more than, than doubling his walks total. So that's giving him the on-base percentage. That means that he's not chasing as much, right? He still has some troubles when like I told you before, when he gets antsy. He had a man on second yesterday, and he popped up and he chased. Again, one of those situations with the open base, they're not going to, if they weren't doing it earlier in the season, they're definitely not doing it now, right? So they're going to pitch away from him. It wraps back again to why don't you protect this guy? And I still believe in the protection factor. I still believe in how you believe in Yandy should be hitting, somewhere behind him, probably fourth, because he's such a smarter batsmith.
Yeah.
And if you look at, but that's one, right? 41 walks, 49 this year. He had 125 strikeouts. He only has 68 this year. So he's kind of on that same, maybe a little tick up from last year, but his on-base percentage 311 last year. He's at 378. Everything has been, but the walks for me, it's self-evident that he's being more judicious, smart at the plate, learning from the guys like Aranda, learning from Yandy, his bigger brothers. And one's 27, 28. He just turned 23 yesterday. And then Yandy obviously is the elder statesman at 34. He's learning from these guys and saying, hey, I'm going to let the ball travel a little more.
Yeah.
And I'm also not going to chase as much, right? He's going to chase every now and then because it's just a young kid. And he doesn't have thousands of at-bats under his belt. But he's getting better. If he stays on that course, then he becomes dangerous. Why? Because eventually, whether it's with nobody on or, a situation where there's a man on first and they can't really pitch around him, he doesn't miss the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happened in this hot streak. He's not missing.
Exactly.
If you make a mistake in the zone, he's spread out more. And
you saw that with Seth Lugo
hammering
2 home run or 3 home run.
Yeah.
The first
curveball, and then a
spot both times.
And then he missed with a 2-seamer sinker that he was trying to get, bury it in. He's not missing. So, but that is created by walking more. People don't realize that by walking more creates opportunities, because then the league starts recognizing and going, okay, yeah.
That's the scary part about Junior. And we've talked about this, is there's room for growth.
Oh,
tons of room for growth.
Listen,
he's already killing it.
He is, you've called it, he's a generational talent. I put him in the level of, I've said before, potential with Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, potential of Manny Ramirez, potential of Albert Pujols. Those are the names that, right-handed, hammers that aren't normally going to lead the league in hitting, but they're going to lead the league in thumping, right? They're still going to hit 300 because he has the potential to hit 290 to 310 every year, especially as the walks keep rising. So, it helps.
And if he gets protection, and people say, well, he doesn't need it. Look what he's doing. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Give you an example of that.
It's still a positive
give you
thing.
An example of that, because I'm watching these.
It's not going to hurt him.
I'm watching these games, and how does Houston protect Jordan Alvarez? They surround their tremendous trio is Jordan Alvarez, Paredes, and the great Christian Walker, who just hit his 20th home run, has like 60-something RBI.
He's good.
Love to have him. We don't have a spot.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to trade him. We don't have a spot. He's a DH first baseman. We're covered there.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more maybe on our, on my show about, who the Rays should go after. There's a bunch of names out there. Ryan Jeffers is coming up quite a bit. The really, really talented hitting catcher for the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
Because our catching crew, is palatable.
They're mediocre.
They're
nice
mediocre.
fellas.
Actually, they've done way better than I thought.
They're overachieving.
Not necessarily defensively. They're still mediocre defensively, but they're definitely hitting better than I thought they would at this point. I thought they were both sub 200 hitters, and they're battling. In fact, Fiducia hit a bullet yesterday with a man on third that could have opened up, could have made the game really interesting. And Christian Walker makes a great play. But getting back to their tremendous trio, what do? They bookend them with a veteran, Altuve, who's no longer the super uber star, top 10 player of the year type guy, a year in and year out for about 6 or 7 years that Altuve was in the late teens and into the early 20s.
Yeah.
He's basically right now, Altuve is Johnny DeLuca.
Yeah.
He's Ryan Blade, right? That's what you're getting. 250, 260, can pop you every now and then. Really, kind of aggressive in the base pass. But they put him in the leadoff, right? They're not putting Jordan Alvarez in the leadoff,
right?
Or one of these other 3 guys. They put Alvarez at 2. So that swallows him up and have these other guys. You have to do something, even though they're still trying to pitch around that monster. That's what I'm saying, man. Just move him to the 2-hole and then bring in what basically Paredes is Jonathan Aranda.
Yeah.
Right? Paredes, Jonathan Aranda. Christian Walker is the veteran Yandy Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yandy's better than he is, but we're talking about that type of a guy that can handle the pressure of maybe having Cam Smith behind him, and some of these other, but that offense is not bad. The Houston Astros offense is
it's really good.
It's legit. They just have many, minuscule pitching.
Yeah.
If they had the Rays starting pitching and their back end bullpen, because Hader is still not the old school Hader, you're talking they'd be running away with that West.
Yeah, and they'll make
their push.
Stuff. Yeah, they should do some stuff.
If they decide to not sell and add a Joe Ryan,
they could be dangerous.
They could be sneaky dangerous because they're just veterans. They have the nature, they have the culture of winners. Putting aside their cheating ways and all their stuff in the past, they win. So back to Junior is that I do want to touch on one other thing, and well, we're pretty much we'll hit it on the backside, but a lot of fun.
Stay tuned,
and that is Yandy Diaz, because you made some interesting points on your show. I think it was on Friday about Yandy, and I've got some debating on that. And his greatness is greatness, but you compared him to somebody that I don't know if that was the right guy to compare him to.
Oh, I'm going to get admonished.
Yes,
Can't wait.
I'm going to admonish you a little bit.
My spanking coming up. There's your tease right there. All right, let me finish up with the comments here. The Rays' new stadium is a big effing deal, says Pooh Shiesty. To put that alongside what Disney and Universal are doing is serious business. Yeah, I mean, when you look at what's happening in every major metropolitan city in Florida, and that includes, Jacksonville is redoing their stadium, and they're putting, I don't know, was it $15 billion into their port, the Jacksonville port?
$15 billion?
Yeah, which is they're doing a logistical thing that makes their port like amazing. I don't, I'm no engineer, but
that's a
Miami's doing the same thing with their cruise port,
yes.
They just did with the cruise port, and Miami International is getting a $14 billion
I knew that
makeover. And they just did a $10 billion thing with the soccer stadium there.
Yes.
You look, Disney's spending $60 billion on 2 new theme parks. $60 billion.
See, that's what's happening, and people don't realize that exponentially. We're not the same as 20 or 30 years ago, or 40 years ago. It's not.
We don't do this. We fall so far behind.
Yeah,
everybody else, which means less jobs, which means less companies moving here, which means we stagnate,
less
and
revenue coming back into the city.
Exactly. So you guys that want potholes filled and want to clutch your pearls, you don't get it done by doing it that way. You get it done by moving forward and creating more revenue.
You got to step up
and competing for the tourist dollar.
Yeah,
that's the deal.
And making this deal right. That's the thing, is building it right, making it right. You just don't just give the money and then turn around and go, okay, have some fun.
And the money's not good. And the money is not going in the pockets of the billionaires. As so many of these people keep talking about.
Why they even think, when you mention the numbers that you're just mentioning, where could you fathom that the money's going to be stolen like some sort of Ponzi scheme,
like it normally is from the government? At least you know where it's going. I mean, seriously,
you'll
at least
see the fruits of the labor.
You'll see it, and you'll get to enjoy it as not just going out the back door.
Jobs to build that thing?
39,000 construction jobs.
You'll see that
full and part time. 11 to 12,000 permanent jobs.
I know the permanent ones. I'm talking about just the build out.
And the tourism dollars that come with that too. Yeah. That's the part of it.
It's not that it's a no-brainer because it's a lot of money, but it's a solid, decision to move forward and keep up with the proverbial Joneses. Let's just stay in the state of Florida, just to stay in the state of Florida and stay, prominent. Forget about how big it is to be nationally.
Pooh Shiesty says Charlie Miranda didn't see that video about Florida construction projects. Can someone copy it to a VHS so he can see? You think he's got a VHS? I don't know if he does.
VHS.
Rick,
I don't know if he cares.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Rick says, will the new Rays Stadium have a plaque commemorating all the poor souls who lost their tennis courts and had to walk upstairs because elevators were out of service? Always remember, I think there's a Times column coming soon to say goodbye to the parking lots. The empty parking lots. We've gotten to know them over the years, and then the Rays just come in and just pave them over and build all this stuff.
But JP, are we going to lose the pickleball courts?
Yeah, the tennis court. No, actually, we're going to get better ones with lights and everything.
But I'm saying for the time being, we can't play pickleball there. Is that a problem?
That retention pond that's so beautiful. Yeah. We're going to lose that.
I was just there, actually. I was at Dr. Ken Atwater's office a couple of weeks ago.
Such a beautiful retention pond.
And there's just nothing around there, bro, other than
and those buildings those were built in the 70s. Those are beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's
you're gonna say goodbye to those.
Yeah. By the way, and before we go out, and everybody knows it, but I have to recycle how much you have been on point for not just in the last few months, weeks, the last 2 years, bro. You've been on point since
Thank you, sir.
The beginning of 25 with everything that you have said, because I'm seeing certain, I'm looking up different posts and podcasts and things, and they're giving some praise to like a Times reporter for saying what you've been saying for 6 months. And he's like, oh, he's reporting that, are you kidding me? And all the negativity about reporting the negativity that person brought in over the last 6 months to a year. And then now all of a sudden, because the light is shining on going a particular way, and they're like, okay, we
better catch up now.
We better catch up now.
Yeah.
Obviously,
same goes with other radio hosts too. It said it would never happen.
Unbelievable, but I got to praise you for not only saying the right thing, but it's reporting the right thing, because you're not just saying it just because you want it to happen. You're a journalist. You're reporting what you sourced out.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Yeah,
you
not looking for clicks.
Receipts.
Yeah,
you
not looking for clicks.
Had guests to get them on the show.
Yeah,
you've had comments made on record. That's how you report. That's real reporting.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to the people that are actually in the negotiations, and you get a much different. And not to say that that's the real sad part. They have access to all these comments, but they'd much rather go stick a mic in front of Wolstall, the grandstander, who will make a lot of controversial comments that are 100% untrue, won't fact check them,
right,
and just let them spew whatever negativity and call it a story. That's not how journalism is done. And we have to, toe the line between, and I try to do this when we report something, like I'm reporting this is happening, and then I'll say, this is what I think is going to happen after that. That's not reporting. That's just connecting the dots.
Correct.
And we try to give you that perspective as well. But, to ignore what the actual chairman is saying.
Yeah, right.
And play up with all the, the negativity. That's just, that's to me, that's not.
Yeah, this wasn't one-sided reporting on the side of the ownership group of the Rays, of which you have great relation with, and they give you transparent information, mainly Ken Babby, etc. But this is all the different sides, and I think that's is to be commended, because that's real reporting. Period.
I appreciate that. Now he's going to admonish me in the Big O show.
Yeah, no, that I'm definitely.
So, okay. Rick says Big Brown Cuban comes in. JP ignores the Petermans. He turned off the comments. Wrong.
No, he just
wrong.
Rico, you are not suave, Rico Suave.
And this one, we'll leave on this one. Sly Stallone turns 80 today.
Dude.
Still pumping out great content. Tulsa King season 4 this fall on Paramount. Great show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sly, he turns 80. It's still looking strong.
Yeah. And people forget that guy came from nothing, man.
From absolutely
He just
nothing.
sold his script, his Rocky script.
Showed up in LA.
And they said, I'm gonna make this movie. And they're like, no, you're not. Yes, I am.
Yeah. And he held on to it, and look what he did. No, that's an American.
One of the great American
stories,
stories, man.
Story of all stories.
Yeah, he's the best.
God bless him.
Love Sly Stallone.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, Big Brown Cuban, Big O show coming up here in about 15, 20 minutes. We appreciate all you guys for jumping in. Sorry, Hamon couldn't be here today, but where is my
Hamon? He's hurting.
Yeah. Do our post music here, I guess.
He's feeling it. I like it.
Good July 4th for him. Couldn't handle all the fireworks, I guess.
Hello.
All right, Big O show coming up here. Thanks to all our great sponsors. We love you guys. Thanks for all our great Petermans and your comments today. Most of them were pretty good. Not too shabby. We will see you in a few minutes and talk some Rays and Yankees. What a series this is going to be, bro.
This is massive.
Woo! Love it. Stay with us. Back in a few.